Hey y'all, this is Wallace. I just took a video talking about love, talking about spirituality. There's a loud noise. My phone did like a loud noise thing. I'm gonna make sure it doesn't do that again. Actually, 1 second. But it's late at night. And I am still not doing like the editing or whatever I probably should be doing. There's a lot of things I don't do or have you know should do, and I think I wanted to record this next video and just talk about. I hope it doesn't make that sound again. It's like it like startled me or whatever. It's like a alarm, not alarm, but like a notification. It's kind of funny. But I just said to myself, there are two things right now that I'd like to talk about, and or should I say that I don't want to talk about, and that's why I want to talk about them. So, the first one has to do with why I'm afraid of power, why I am not doing certain things that would make my life easier, and why you know I guess you don't know. I just say that a lot. Why I am being childish, I guess. Um, and I want to talk a little bit about like some of what I know about magic. You know, I don't know why I keep saying that. It's starting to bother me. So I'm just gonna some of this stuff is really hard for me to talk about. So I'm just gonna be, you know, I'm just gonna say it, and hopefully I can get through this video. So, um, without embarrassing myself. So first off, why I don't do certain actions. You know, every time I say I'm just not gonna do it anymore. um, why I don't take certain actions that would help my life, or why I'm sensitive to wanting more power and being honest about it. I don't really know. I think it has to do with trauma and fear, and also I think I can go well without it, and perhaps I'm defiant. That's part of my nature, I suppose. Maybe I'm bitter and resentful. Maybe I'm bitter and resentful that maybe the bitterness and resentment I've always had since I was a kid before I was a vampire. Maybe I'm bitter and resentful for becoming a vampire. Maybe those feelings aren't based in logic, but based in just emotion and my soul and my heart. Um, I don't know. But since I am committed to um, doing these therapy uh, videos and committed to making myself, I want to say, better. If I feel like I need to talk about it, or I feel like I should not talk about it, that's probably a good indicator that I should talk about it, uh, for therapy's sake. yeah, I don't know why I'm so defiant. Maybe because I don't like the way things are in my life or in reality. I don't know why I am so sensitive to certain things. I'm aware that people see the world differently, and that before I became more mature and as an adult, my worldview was pretty easily manipulated. And I realized the way I see the world through the lens is that I perceive it through. My mind interprets the world, and I think most of the time that's just the way it is. But it's not. And to most people, I forget to realize that seeing the world the way I do is in it of itself a gift. It's a gift and a superpower to be used wisely. Um, just how I see the world and how I could see can see um, a brighter future, or a future that I can see as a possibility. Now, why don't I make some good decisions for myself? I'm like slurring my words right now. I'm just tired. Sorry, y'all. Um, why don't I make good decisions for myself? Sometimes that would make my life and other people's lives easier. It would just make sense. Obviously, I'd sometimes want to do things, and sometimes it's logical and rational, but I won't do it, or I don't do it. I think it's one part being defiant, one part my ego, where I want to explore other options, so to speak. But also, I've learned that the vampire part of myself, uh, the subconscious part, at times is it. It's like it has a different mind of its own within me. So yeah, I could blame it on that. I could blame it on a couple things, but I also am coming to realize I got to work on that. This is something I need to work on, you know, and I can work on it um, through therapy and through opening up and through talking and by doing positive actions and making changes in my life. Now, if I make certain changes in my life and I do all those things, it's gonna make me miserable. uh, Unless I do it right, unless I take it slow, and unless I'm yeah, committed to um, taking care of myself. Why would I take care of myself? I'm such a tough guy, and I'm happy with being humble. I'm happy with having less, you know. But I believe in a brighter future. What's wrong with that? Well, nothing's wrong with that, but what about what other people care about? What about those who love me? Well, like, obviously, I love them, but I love them too, to a certain extent. And I kind of wish I kept the other video because I talked about this and about being the process of love and what love means to me and the steps that I look forward to taking. You know, I see love as a staircase that you take steps and it's really sweet and intimate. And I was talking about vampires and how sweet and loving they can be, or how I can be. But the opinions of others at times don't matter to me. I don't think that's right. I think that's wrong. I think it's wrong that I do that at times. Clearly, if someone is like hostile and mean towards me, yeah, you know, it makes sense to like put up barriers. But someone who truly loves me and they're like, or there's groups of people and they're like, hey man, why aren't you listening to reason? We can see it in you. You want to make this jump, this decision, this change. You want to. We see it in you, but you're not. Why not? Well, I want to blame the vampire in me, but I think I just got. I think I'm kind of tangled up inside my brain. My brain's kind of tangled up inside, and it's not too far fetched to say that I have brain damage. You know, I've gotten enough physical damage from life. You know, I think it's a safe statement to say I might. My brain might have physical damage. So if that's the case, or if I don't know why, I should try to make positive changes. And I'm perfectly capable of being careful and logical and safe and considerate and respectful and conscientious. What do I have to be afraid of? What's so scary about taking on responsibility or more responsibilities or taking better care of myself, which I've been trying to do with this video series and with other actions and learning? I know it can't all be done overnight. I know it's not one of those things, and I know I'm defiant. But I want to be less defiant. And I'm starting to learn that when it comes to certain things, you know how sometimes you reluctantly make the statement like, well, I guess I'll go along with it. You know, I don't want to do that, but if that's all I can do, if the best I can do, honestly, if the best I can do is say, okay, well, I guess I'll give it a shot, I'll try. I'm going to go ahead and go with that until it transforms into something authentic. You know, I hate to do that. You know, I hate to do that to anybody, and I hate doing that in general. Say, well, I guess I'll give it a try. But, you know, I'm not perfect, and I'm going to give it a try. So, to be not apologetic, but, and not, I don't want to become more of a, like, miserable asshole. Like, I don't want to do that. You know, and I don't want to, but I realize it's a process to accept things in life and not just be forgetful or deceiving to myself or blind to certain things. But because most of the time I am living in the moment and I have my view of the world, and I rely on my senses and I rely on my vampire abilities. But to me, it's complicated because, like, where do I draw the lines when it comes to certain things? Like, I know for certain things, I need to be, different parts of who I am. But when you have when I have 10 options, for certain things, and my body's telling me one thing, and like my vampiric subconscious is telling me to do another thing. It's like I'm pretty much usually going to listen to that vampire side of me, because I feel like I don't really have a reason other besides I like that part of me. I think it seems to be working just fine. But yeah, it just comes to making decisions in life. It's not easy. Uh, the acceptance, the responsibility. And how do I want to accept things, and what do I want to accept, and what do I want to be responsible for? What am I doing? What am I doing here? What am I trying to live for? What am I becoming? What am I trying to develop? These things, questions. And why am I, and this is me talking bad about myself, but I kind of need to. You ever expression, you need to kick yourself in the ass? Well, I definitely need to kick myself in the ass, because it's like, hey man, I gotta do these things. Why am I being so dang lazy? But something inside says don't do it, or don't do it right now. And that things are going pretty good, and keep on walking the path. Maybe eventually I'll do certain things. Maybe I'll do certain things right. But right now, just vampire, just rock star, just a funny guy. And I think that's enough. As I'm taking these steps and doing these videos and learning more about myself and people, and trying to be more responsible and accepting. And I think that's okay. So just wanted to make this video. And yeah, look at this guy. Look at this guy over here. Look at this weird guy standing on a. Can't even see it. I don't know who that guy is. All right, I'm gonna take my sleepy self. I'm gonna go sleep. So y'all have a good night. And thanks for watching these videos and supporting me at my worst, when I'm the most tired, and my funny hair, my funny beard. So y'all have a good night. Thank you. Bye.